Do you find yourself feeling worried, fearful, or even victimized for that matter by the things, that take place in your life or that are taking place in the world? Are you feeling that way right now? Given everything that we've been over the last couple of years, everything that has taken place in our life and in the world. If you are feeling that way, know this, you're perfectly normal. Because our normal tendency, the normal human tendency, is to think that the things that we do have or experience or that take place in our lives, come into our lives, or take place in the world, that they are the cause of our feelings. They can cause us to feel fearful, to feel worried, to feel victimized. And we may even see them sometimes as being responsible for the choices that we make. You probably have said it yourself or hear other people say that because of such and such, the only choice I have is this, or that made me decide or choose to do one particular thing over the other. Now, here's the thing though, that is not true. We are not victims of the world. We're not victims of circumstances or conditions, or even other people, the words or actions, the way people behave, the things that they say. And because it's not the circumstances or the people, the things they say, or the conditions that determines your feelings. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, to show you that this need not be, and there's another way. Hello, and whether you're watching live or later, welcome to the Freedom Facebook Live weekly show in the LifeWorks Spiritual Network community. I am Reverend Jennifer McSween, international best-selling transformational author, the Miracles Mindset strategist, true forgiveness coach, and founder of this community. And I help spiritually oriented individuals to feel worthy and empowered so they can be happy, have healthy, loving, fulfilling relationships, and live prosperous, purposeful, genuinely successful lives. So, in May of this year, I received a lung cancer diagnosis. And I mean, this is usually seen as the dreaded diagnosis, right? And I don't just mean lung cancer, just any kind of cancer. You normally hear people say, oh my God, the big C. It's like, that's the worst thing that could happen. And, in all fairness, it is a serious condition from the perspective of the world and from the way our bodies are. And nobody wants to be diagnosed with that. However, though, from the first time that I heard the diagnosis, and even to the present moment where I'm currently on the waiting list for surgery, I have felt totally at peace. And you're probably thinking she's in denial, right? But that's not the case, and I'll tell you why. And here's the thing. I made some notes here today, and I'm looking at my notes simply because for me this is such an important topic or subject that I want to share with you today, and I don't want to miss anything. And so if you see me glancing at my notes, don't feel too bad. It's just to keep me on track, and I don't want to ramble. I have a tendency to do that at times, so I don't want to waste your time. I want to be, to the point. So here's the thing. The number one reason why I've been able to be at peace with this from the beginning to the present and going forward is because I've been studying and practicing the teachings of A Course in Miracles for over 20 years. And it's also the basis of the teachings of A Course in Miracles is also the basis of the work that I do, what I share with clients, to help them feel worthy and empowered, and to heal and transform their lives and to be at peace and heal their relationships, etc. And for those of you who don't know, A Course in Miracles is a form of spiritual psychotherapy that helps you to feel safe, empowered, and at peace, as I'm talking about, regardless of who or what comes into your experience. And the way that A Course in Miracles teaches us to do so is by changing our perception. Now, one of the most liberating and empowering lessons in A Course in Miracles is the book lesson titled, I Am Not the Victim of the World I See. And the idea behind this lesson is that it's not what happens, but how you look at it, your perception, the interpretation that you're making, the story you're telling yourself about what this means and about you and how it's going to affect you. That is the sole determiner of the way you feel. So, as a student, teacher, and practitioner of A Course in Miracles, the teachings of A Course in Miracles over the years, I have literally learned to embody this lesson. And this is what is allowing me to feel peaceful, even if I have a cancer diagnosis. At no point, again, like I said, neither from the first hearing about it throughout the series of tests and scans and everything that's been going on, and now where I am, at no point have I ever felt, that I wanted any particular outcome. I was not fearful. I was not, worried. I wasn't, like saying, well, I pray, I hope it turns out this way. The only thing that I pray for, if you want to call it that, and it's not even a prayer, it's that I remain peaceful throughout this experience and regardless of the outcome. Okay? And, this is basically what is keeping me at peace, knowing that I am not the victim of the world I see. And this particular teaching and the idea behind it, this is what is keeping me in this state. So you're probably wondering, how must I be looking at this? And what must I be telling myself about it that allows me to remain peaceful? And it's basically this. Another lesson, another something I've learned from A Course in Miracles, if you want to call it that. And it is this, that the things that we find most difficult, challenging, or painful in our lives can be seen this way. Like they did not come to hurt us, but rather to prepare us to serve the purpose for which we were created. And now, here's the thing. What this basically means is that see nothing in your life as happening to you. Become open to the idea of looking at life as a lesson, a classroom, so to speak, and everything in it as part of the curriculum. So when I look at my situation and how this applies to me, that if to look at this as a lesson, to look at it as something that is preparing me to serve the purpose, that I'm created to serve, to express, I look at this, I know with absolute certainty or without a doubt that my part of my purpose is helping people to feel empowered, to feel worthy, to literally, as I shared, be able to remain empowered and be at peace regardless of what comes into the experience or as they go about their lives and in the world. And I'm thinking, what a better way to prepare me for teaching others how to be that way than to learn to be that way in my own life myself. And so, because I'm looking at this as not something that's happening to me, but something that's coming to serve me so that I can serve others, I'm at peace, because this is not something that shouldn't be. And so this is why that one particular lesson, I mean, there are many powerful lessons in A Course in Miracles, but this is one of the most liberating and most empowering, because it helps you to shift your perception of yourself as a victim of the world and instead seeing yourself as an instrument of everything in a way that you can serve. And so if you're having if you have a situation in your life right now that you find troubling or fearful or downright victimizing, become open to another way of looking at it. Become open to seeing yourself not as a victim of it, but as looking at it in terms of how can this serve me? What is the information or inspiration or instruction that it's bringing me? And how can I look at it differently so that I can be at peace? And if you would like some help with that, you know, reach out to me. You can either send me a private message or you can drop it in the comments that, you'd like to know more about this. And, perhaps we can see if we can find a time that we can set up, and I can probably address the same situation that you're going through right now and have you look at it from a place where you will not be fearful, where you can be peaceful, help you to understand what's the process, what's the story you're telling yourself that is leading you to find it painful and, or challenging or fearful, and then set you up with a next step that you can take in terms of how you can look at it differently and then experience it differently. And there's a small cost to this. However, should you decide to go further and work with me, that is deducted from the overall cost. But if we get together and, we help you address this situation, at least you walk away with something, knowing how you can look at it differently and what your next step could be. And then it's up to you to decide if you want to be at peace with it as it is, and it's not too troubling, or if you'd like to go work with someone else, or if you want to go work further with me, we can talk about that as well. So the main thing I'd like you to take away from this live is you're not a victim of anything or anyone. Regardless of what comes into your experience, it did not come to hurt you. It came to serve you. And become open to looking at it from that perspective. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful or you have comments, please put them in the comments. I go back from time to time and check, and I will answer everyone's question and or address everyone's comments, and I'd love to know your thoughts. And join me again next Friday at 4 p.m. or 4 or 5 for another Freedom Friday Live. This is Reverend Jennifer McSween saying thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the live next Friday. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.